Hi, this is Ben Ames. I'm senior news editor with DCVelocity magazine, and we're here at Modex 2022 in Atlanta, Georgia. Everybody here for real this time. I'm here doing a rolling booth video with Softeon, and here with us today we have Dan Gilmore, who's the Chief Marketing Officer. Dan, good to have you.
Ben, glad to be here. Thanks for joining me.
So maybe you can tell us a little bit about what Softeon does to locate us within the show here.
Okay, so we're a supply chain software company. We really have three main kind of vectors of solutions that we go to market with. First is warehouse management systems, traditional warehouse management systems, and all the stuff that goes around that, labor management, slotting optimization, yard management, things like that. The second is the newer warehouse execution system, or WES. We'll talk more about that in a second, but it provides new levels of optimization and orchestration for order fulfillment versus what you can get even from a tier 1 WMS like Softeon has. And the third is in the distributed order management, or DOM area, where that software really is about the optimal order sourcing, whether it's B2C or B2B. How do I meet customer commitments and capacity constraints, but get the order to the customer at least possible cost, while still making sure that they're satisfied. So those are our three main product vectors, but we have a lot of individual modules.
Got it. Those are a lot of really important concepts I know that we've been discussing at the show here with folks, and some of those customer demands have been really soaring lately. So is that something that your clients, your customers have been feeling the pain of?
Well, sure. I mean, everyone's challenged right now. I mean, obviously the labor shortage, the higher labor costs. I mean, if you just saw Amazon's been at $20 an hour in some markets for a long time. Target just announced they're going to $24 an hour in the most expensive markets for warehouse workers. $48,000 a year, not too bad. And then just the cycle time pressures driven by Amazon and just the need to get more throughput out the door in a challenging labor environment. These are a lot of different things, but the story we talk to in different flavors, but it's all variations on that theme.
Got it. And so with some of those complex challenges, it sounds like you're coming up with some complex solutions. The warehouse execution side that you mentioned is really where a lot of the technology comes together?
Yeah, and it's really the combination of WMS, WES, and then a platform of sort of some enabling technology. So we're calling that the smart warehouse of tomorrow, but the good news is Softeon is delivering that, we believe, today. So, it provides a variety of different things. It really starts with core operational excellence in the warehouse, and that is kind of driven by more traditional WMS. And that involves pervasive real-time data collection using mobile terminals, system-directed tasking, advanced picking and replenishment kind of things. I mean, you have to start with that foundation, right? But now the smart warehouse is going in some new directions, and we believe that the WMS industry as a whole has really only made incremental progress over the last 20 years, and now we're talking about some step change processes as we move from traditional warehouses to the smart warehouse of the future, and WMS is at the heart of that. One of the things we talk about is that, the smart warehouse of the future is going to be based on intelligence, right? And so what's happening by building right now? And so very granular real-time visibility to activity and throughput and bottlenecks and how we do that. And one of the things that really differentiates the smart warehouse from the not smart warehouse is that the smart warehouse is always on. It's always monitoring and listening to the environment. And greatly simplifying for today, that provides us a platform where we can do things like autonomous order release, what Gartner sometimes calls the autonomous warehouse, where work is released to the floor based on resource availability, inventory positioning, carrier cutoff times, order priority, a number of different factors, and the work just releases automatically to meet customer commitments without the need for a human to necessarily be making all those decisions. That's just some of the key facets of what we believe the smart warehouse of the future is going to entail.
Got it. It sounds promising. So if I were to walk into a smart warehouse of the future, what would I see? Would I see a lot of robots and automation? Would I see incredibly fast flow of fulfillment goods? Would I see fewer workers? What would it look like?
I mean, it's going to vary, but one of the things, certainly, part of the smart warehouse is improved and much easier integration of materials handling equipment. So one of the things that we do, for example, is in things like put walls and smart or mobile robots, pick-to-light systems. We directly connect with the APIs of those systems. You don't need any third-party software. And that brings all kinds of different advantages. And Pick-to-Light, just for example, because it winds up being therefore a less expensive solution, you can light more SKUs than you can if it's a proprietary solution, and therefore jacks up the effective cost per light. So you can take advantage of those kind of things. You're going to notice a lot more visible information for making decisions, and you're going to see more level loading of flows of work onto and off of automation systems, so you don't have nearly as much peaks and valleys as you do with a traditional kind of scenario there. And that's really what kind of got the WES going. One of the differences for Softeon is that WES capability and some of that autonomous processing I'm talking about works just as well for non-automated warehouses as it does for automated warehouses, and that's a real differentiator for us.
Gotcha. Thank you. That helps. So for people who are here at Modex 22, who are here in Atlanta this week, how can they find you here on the floor and see some of this for themselves?
Yeah, we're in Building C, booth number 7466. Also tomorrow on Tuesday, we have a educational session at 2 o'clock in Theater A, I believe it is, on orchestrating order fulfillment, and we're talking about doing that at the network level, which really involves distributed order management, and then doing that same kind of orchestration at the facility level, which involves WMS and WES. And you really need both of those together to maximize throughput and efficiency.
Got it. And just to wrap up, for some of our viewers who might not be here in Atlanta, what's the best way they can find out from home?
Yeah, you can just find us on the web at www.softeon.com. We just finished up WMS Boot Camp, we called it, over the last couple of months. And the links to those on-demand resources are available. That may be something that people are interested in. It was a fine series.
Awesome. Thanks so much for spending time with us today, Dan. I really enjoyed our talk.
Ben, it was great as always. Great to see you. Thanks so much.
Thank you. This has been Ben Ames with DC Velocity Magazine here at Modex 2022 in Atlanta.